For a guy who grew up in the US, I'm very often asked exactly what prompted me to want to live in a tiny pueblo of several thousand people here in Central America. Why would anybody who grew up in the US and sort of middle class kind of upbringing outside DC in Northern Virginia, why would anybody want to do what I've done? And I answer with this. Living in a pueblo of 2,000 people, most of them indigenous here in Central America, in a strange way, it's a window on the way life should be lived. And what I mean by that is a lot of what has happened, especially in the last 25 years with the advent of the internet, meteoric adoption and growth of online living, right, where everything now is somehow removed from the real world, and actually the real world is actually online. And it's not like locals here don't have cell phones with smartphone connections and aren't scrolling Facebook and all the rest. They are. But there's a realness about life in a tiny pueblo like this.
The truth is, giving yourself an international lifestyle just isn't that tough, and it makes more sense now than ever before. International diversification is freedom insurance. If you want to know how I've done it for my family and how you can do it for yours for a lot less than you think, please subscribe, like, comment, and share with folks you care about.
I came here in 1999. I built this house that you see behind me. I had some help from a lady friend who was a tremendous designer and an artist too. The house itself is kind of a piece of art, although it doesn't look like it from the outside. If you saw what's inside it, it's just shockingly beautiful. And so therein lies the first lesson. And here I'm talking specifically to young people, mostly to young men. The importance of going out on your own, the importance of finding what it is that you're supposed to do. There's a path that's being laid out for you by mom and dad and society and teachers and everything that you've gone through. And obviously those people have their agenda for what it is that they would like to see you decide to do. But there's also this other path. There's this other parallel track, which is the life that you're meant to have. The life that, if you have the courage to go out and find it, will reward you at a much deeper level. What is the primary illness that people my age, roughly, I'm in my 50s now, what is the primary illness that people succumb to? Here I'm talking about people who followed what society expected of them, who did what mom and dad wanted them to do. I have friends who fit this to a T. Tremendously successful, enormous incomes, huge house and beautiful lifestyle, and like all the trappings of what we refer to as success. Prestigious kind of job titles, brand new cars, great schools, and all the rest. But there's a misery that pervades and underlies that. And I'm not saying everybody, and I'm not saying this is true for absolutely everyone, but it is there for a lot of folks who are, quote, successful. And the malaise, right, is that, but it wasn't worth it. I have an attorney friend in New York, and this friend told me, good for you that you went and did what you did, because quite frankly, with all my success, I don't know that it was worth it. I don't really look back on my life as something that was tremendously satisfying. What I've achieved might look awesome on the outside from somebody else's point of view, but it wasn't satisfying for me on the inside. And I thought, what a heck of a statement. I always knew that there was something special about going and following what I followed. I got out of undergrad. I worked construction jobs around the US for a little bit, took off and taught school in Switzerland, and then, foolishly or not, I toured Europe on a motorcycle and had a bunch of adventures. And the world opened up to me when I went on that year, and when I saw Europe and saw the tremendous culture and all of the things that were possible if you had the courage to go for it. And I made a decision that I wasn't going to follow any kind of path that anybody else had laid out for me. And by and large, I've been not just rewarded, but genuinely delighted, because there's a magic to going out and finding the life that's meant for you. There's a magic to trying to feel your way forward into but wait, where do I want to be? What do I want to experience before I'm out of time and off planet Earth? And having the guts to do that was something tremendous for me. I ended up on a sailboat. I spent some time in the Caribbean. I met a guy in Cuba who told me about this town. And I ended up here on Lake Atitlan in Guatemala. And one thing after another opened up for me, one door after another. I found this property, I started building a house, I met a mentor in natural medicine and had a full-fledged medical career for about 17 years, teaching doctors what I had learned about self-healing and simple ancient medical practices that help people. I ended up working in hospitals from Chicago to Cleveland Clinic, of all places. And so all of that was the result of really having the courage to go out and have the life that I wanted to have, instead of the life that I was told I needed to have because, well, no more more of this fooling around. It's time to get a job and get serious and all the rest. And to this day, I haven't found a better guide for how life should be than the one that's already inside me. And so I encourage all young people, but especially young men, the big obstacle right now is not really an obstacle. It's a mental block. I'll tell you how to get over the difficulties to having this kind of life. The first most important thing is to go develop skills. Give yourself a trade. Maybe it's learning diesel mechanic skills so you can work on sailboats, right? For me, it was medicine. I picked up acupuncture quite easily. I knew I could travel, right, and take it with me and do just fine, right, if that's what I chose to do. I also had good language skills, so I knew I could teach English to Spanish speakers, Spanish to English speakers, and I knew I would be okay after I put a few skills under my belt. I think if you go add skills, the challenge and the danger and the obstacle that looks so huge to you, that looks like it's preventing you from going out and having the life that you want, is not actually that big. And the more skills you add, the more you realize, like, no, wait a sec, I actually could make it on my own, and I could go anywhere I want in the world, and I could actually do what it is that I most want to do without too much hassle, without too much danger, without too much risk that I wouldn't be able to feed myself, or that I'd fall in with bad people, or that I'd be in situations that I didn't want to be in. Your ability to navigate the world and to have the life that you want to have is really tied to the skills that you give yourself. And so I encourage all of you, if you're watching this video and you're thinking to yourself, wow, the world looks like a real shit show right now. I agree with you. Boy, if you're young right now, you have a lot of reasons to be pissed at, especially the older generation has made an absolute hash out of the monetary and financial systems. You're going to get to pay for that, right? Fair or not, that's how it's going to play out. But the flip side of that is it's going to be chaotic. And the best way to deal with that chaos is, in my humble opinion, and as a guy who's now looking back with some kind of 20/20 hindsight, you can have the life that you want, but it takes a certain something extra. And the extra something that it takes is your ability to actually power through your shortcomings. Get enrolled in emergency medical training, right? An EMT kind of certificate. Get enrolled in some kind of skill set that's really going to help you and stand you in good stead, so that no matter where you find yourself, you'll make yourself valuable to other people. The biggest dynamic that I see missing that's not taught in our culture, in our society in North America is, look, you'll be welcome wherever you go if you can make yourself valuable to people when you get there. You'll be welcome wherever you go if you bring something to the party and you have something to offer. So many people that I see, even here in this little Pueblo, come down and expect to be celebrated because, well, I'm here. Everybody, right, hold the applause. I'm here now. Like, let the party begin. And it's a culture-wide thing. There's no reason for it. And no doubt, it's a historical thing to have been born in the US or Canada, because it's such an anomaly, right, that we had so much peace and so much prosperity for so long. And I don't think that that's going to continue. I think you're going to have to learn how to live and operate and navigate a world that's much, much more dangerous, and also that's, by and large, doesn't give a shit, right, about celebrating you, but that you can handle if you put the right skills under your belt and you give yourself the ability to be valuable to other people when you show up. So if you want to see a certain part of the world, figure out what skill you can offer to people when you get there and get busy learning it. Now, if you're interested in this topic and you enjoy these kind of videos, then please hit the subscribe button. And if you want to join a private community of people who are creating a decentralized future, a situation where individuals with similar values banding together to join forces and create community going forward into the 2020s as we watch the chaos of the world play out, the best thing you can have going for you right now is good community. And so we've done that. I call it the X-Plan community. The X in the equation is you. This is about your specific situation. This is about your unique needs. This is about you and your family making it through the coming chaos in style. And so if you're interested in that, you can click the link below this video and find out more details. Right now, you can join the X-Plan community for just $1. Click below to get all the details. Instead of passively obeying the lunatic decisions by cognitively impaired political hacks, we're building a future where international diversification ensures our freedom and prosperity. You'll get easy access to resources and contacts to help you structure your own international lifestyle, including how you protect your money outside the US banking system, how to quickly get legal documents that allow you and your family to enter a friendly, welcoming, peaceful jurisdiction when trouble hits North America, where to invest in top-tier income-producing real estate, and much, much more. If you decide you want the convenience of private consulting, we offer that option too, but at a tiny fraction of what other so-called experts are charging. So you don't have to break the bank trying to protect your family and preserve your wealth in the chaos of the 2020s. Click below to get all the details and join the X-Plan community for just $1, and I'll see you on the inside. That's it. Thanks very much. If you enjoy it, please subscribe below, and I'll talk to you again in another video.